Welcome to the Hangin with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, go on down and hit subscribe. Do it now. Before you forget, come back over and over again. We're hanging with creators, authors, artists, filmmakers, all kinds of creative people at Space Coast Comic-Con in Cocoa, Florida. Thanks so much to Dave Grace and Jake Estrada for having us come in here. I'm GW Pomichter, and we are hanging with Dan Poole, a filmmaker and the producer of the Photon Effect. The Photon Effect. Yeah. Do a Google search. Not now. Later. Do a Google search and find the Photon Effect. Dan, thanks for hanging with us, man.
Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. So, we're here at the con. How's the con going?
I think it's really neat. I'm used to the San Diego Comic-Con, but I have to say, even in this small venue, it's very well attended. I'm impressed by it. It's really neat.
We've been making the rounds, and I found San Diego overwhelming. It was information overload for 4 blocks. Not just anybody thinking about going to San Diego Comic-Con. It's not just a convention center. It's the city of San Diego.
Yeah, pack your lunch.
Yeah. And a tent, or make your reservations 3.5 years in advance.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so it's a great venue. They moved this year. This is a new venue for them, so it is fantastic. So Photon Effect.
Okay.
Let's give us the
highlights.
The highlight reel here.
I am most known for a series of live-action Spider-Man videos back in the 90s, especially the Green Goblin's Last Stand.
Really?
Which is a 50-minute live-action Spider-Man fan film. But before fan films existed, so some people call me the godfather of fan films.
Nice. The godfather of fan films. He's going to make a movie you can't resist.
Can't refuse, exactly.
All right.
And that's what I tried to do with the Photon Effect. So, that's Marvel's character. Everybody, did it. We crashed the internet. Everybody liked it. It was fun, but I wanted to do something original to see, what I could do as a real filmmaker. Not a real filmmaker, but a filmmaker with his own character.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this script, and really liked the script. I always called it a river runs through it, but with superheroes. Because it's a really good drama, and it's about not being able to help the people closest to you if they don't want your help. And the whole superhero abilities is an underlying tone of addictive personalities. It's really a metaphor for drug and alcohol abuse.
Wow.
The script is
pretty
really good.
heady stuff, man.
And it's packaged in my favorite genre, which is superhero action. Unfortunately, we didn't have the money. We really needed to honor the script to its full extent. And so in my opinion, even though the movie is still worth watching and it's a good film, when you get to the superhero's main superpower, which is running, we just couldn't crack that code. We couldn't get that recipe.
Yeah.
So it could jar you out of the movie just a little bit. But the people that know what to expect, they love the film.
Awesome.
It's easy to follow. It's fun. It's a good story, and the characters are good. Derek Minter, who plays Jay Powers in it, the Black Hole, who becomes the Black Hole, is like the big nemesis. He steals the show. Great actor.
Awesome.
It's fun ride, good effects in it, mostly, except for that one.
That one that you just couldn't get where you wanted it to go.
So we're constantly talking about revamping now with new technology and new effects.
I was going to say, you're doing the great superpower is speed.
Yeah.
And you're making this movie just a shag too early.
Yeah.
Another year, and you could have called Grant Gustafson and said, "How the hell did you guys do that?
What are you doing?
Right? What are you doing? How did you do that?"
I actually bought the first and second season so I could watch.
Just so you could break it down.
Yeah. So I'm watching how they do the effects. I'm like, okay, yep. Okay.
Just doing the show, I find myself now counting cuts.
Yeah.
I'm watching a movie going 1, 2. That's how that works.
Yep.
Just doing that. How long have you been a filmmaker? How long have you been really serious?
I would say 1988 was when picked up a camera. I worked at the National Aquarium in Baltimore as a mail clerk, and a friend was leaving, and I wanted to make a funny video for his going away party, and it became a real labor of love. It became a 20-minute video, but everybody at the party was glued to it, and someone at the party, after everyone was laughing, said, "Man, you're a good director." And I was like, maybe I don't need anyone else's help to make my Spider-Man videos, which I began making in the late 80s as a means to an end. I wanted a job, and I didn't have a resume, and I just wanted to show my passion for the character. Yeah, and something.
Yeah.
So I literally swung around buildings in Baltimore on a rope in the costume, which I'll send you footage of, and you can include in this if you want.
No doubt, yes. Yes.
And that's...
Everybody behind the camera nod right now, because I want that.
and that's what I was doing then, and shipping it off to James Cameron, Stan Lee, just trying to get some eyebrows raised. And honestly, when I went into a few companies in California, because I'm in Baltimore, so I would take my plane trips to LA every couple months, bang on some doors and get inside. And they either couldn't use me, or there was a company too I legitimately felt were afraid of my energy. Because I was like, "Hey, what are we doing? I'll start Monday. What do you need? What do you want? What can I do?"
Yeah.
And they're like, we're all stocked up.
We talked earlier with other filmmakers about the entertainment and arts paradigm shift that we've seen in probably the last decade. We've noticed it in the last couple of years as we started doing what we're doing. But more and more people are not made afraid by what they don't know. They're willing to try, they're willing to learn, they're willing to jump in.
Yeah.
And I think if you are educated and brought up in the old paradigm, that's frightening, man. To see that energy, to see that enthusiasm for a project, to know that you're going to try it no matter what.
Yeah.
And they're going to call you and they're going to say, "You're going to try what? That's only going to cost us $30 million. Well, I tried it yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah.
That can be scary, huh?
It was a long road. I tried.
How are audiences loving this? Knowing what to expect, like you said, the limited effects, and
We've got some great reviews from
Awesome.
people. It's been ripped apart by people that were either in a bad mood. I've noticed that about reviewers. Everybody's a critic. And God bless, you know what you like, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But there have been people that maybe thought it was going to be, I don't know, Reservoir Dogs or something, and they were like, this sucks. I'm like, well, maybe they weren't in for a superhero ride. I don't know.
One of the most difficult pitfalls I think to avoid is the notion that when an indie film goes so blockbuster, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. When an indie film goes so blockbuster that it really stopped being an indie film. But it's still labeled an indie film, which means that now when people look for an indie film, this is what the expectation is, and so the notion that not Tarantino's very first, he didn't pick up the camera and film Reservoir Dogs. If they thought that he did, and they judge every indie artist based on that, then we're all in trouble. I'm in trouble with my next book. You're in trouble with your next film, because we work toward that.
Exactly, but we can't pick the phone up and call Jennifer Aniston to be in our indie film.
Yeah.
we don't run in those circles. We don't have somebody with $1 million checkbook that says, "Oh, here's your, do that project, see if you can get it in Sundance." Of course, it's getting in Sundance.
Indie funding. That's a great topic. Indie funding, man.
Nobody wants the money.
Is it changing, or is it still really, really, really? Is it you're reaching in for that last $5, going, "Somebody run to 7-Eleven and get me that plastic bottle. I need it right now."
I think that throughout time, nobody's going to want to part with money they can't afford to lose, and they don't see a way to get back. I did my best to build on the Spider-Man popularity that I had, and hopefully, and honestly, if you still judge this film on its independent filmmaking merit, as you did my Spider-Man stuff, I think you would champion this film as something that's just one person really drove
Progress.
With next to nothing.
Progress. It is. I love the internet for that reason. And it's not because, first of all, if you're an artist or you're a filmmaker, don't be ashamed of that first work.
Right.
Everybody has a first baby step, right? And the internet is great for that, because I can watch you as a filmmaker grow. So someday when I'm sitting outside the theater and I'm looking at your name, like Spielberg's, on a poster, I'm going to go, "Hey, remember when I saw Photon Effect? Remember when we saw those Spider-Man videos?" You saw that years later now, we'll see people take Spielberg's 35mm films from when he was 14
Sure.
and show us today. Nobody judged him on those.
Sure.
Today, you get judged on that right away.
Exactly.
But it's a positive step for you to say, yeah, well, when I didn't know anything, I wasn't afraid to put it out there. There are lots and lots and lots of, we'll call them living room filmmakers, living room writers, living room leaders. They're sitting in a living room and they're yelling at the TV. I could do better than that.
Yeah.
And you did it. You put it out there.
I worked hard on the script. Till my last breath on this earth, I'll always remain extremely proud of the script. Getting a feature-length script done was, I don't know, a milestone in my life.
Daunting.
Yeah, and then I get to get it done and feel good about it. It was great. And then to set forth trying to bring it to life was incredibly, trying to bring it to life in a credible way, in the vision, with the vision that I saw for it. And it's tough. I mean, it's time consuming. There's a reason movies take a long time to make. There's a reason they take maybe not as much money as they take in Hollywood, but because I know a lot of independent filmmakers. Like I'm in a series of independent films by a filmmaker named John Putch, and John Putch teaches the bare basics of independent filmmaking. He gives seminars on it.
Awesome.
And just how you don't need the bloated budget. You just need this, and this, and you know. If your uncle owns a car dealer.
We've been pitching to Dan since he sat down, DIographer things.
Yeah, these are fantastic.
They're fantastic rigs. Like you said, you don't have to burn the checkbook. You can find ways with what you have.
And every day technology is evolving. And somebody just asked me in an interview the other day if I felt like I was born too early. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to think about it, so don't ask me about it. I'm like, look, when I started my Spider-Man stuff.
We were not born too early. We are old enough to appreciate this stuff when it comes at us.
Yeah.
It's not like our kids think iPhone is like that's what you have. It's just a thing.
Right.
The notion that we once drove around entire cities without being connected to anybody.
Yeah.
That boggles their mind.
Where's Dan? I don't know. He said he was going here.
He said he was going.
How do we get a hold of him? We gotta wait till he gets here.
Yeah, I remember Mom calling the bar and then telling him he's not here.
I should tell you that this was funny to me, but mind blowing. A few years ago, I went to the Smithsonian in D.C. with some friends, and the first thing I saw when we walked in the door, off to the side in a glass case, was a VHS camcorder. Doug Adams, who put up the lion's share of the money to get this made, we're both always trying to get some kind of web series going with it. Time's the enemy these days. I've got a daughter in college and a 10-year-old son who's playing sports every day of the week sometimes. So
God bless you there, man. I'll tell you.
But that's why I gotta stay young. So once he's off to college, I can get back to making superhero movies.
Awesome. It'll be fantastic. So I'll tell you what. We want them to go check out the film. But you surf social media now,
Sure.
The fans, they want to know more than just what your film is about. They want to know you, right? They want to know the guy behind the scenes. So we've gone and scoured social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere that we are, and we found out what people are asking each other. We write them down, she shuffles them. I don't get to know what they are in advance. I look up and there's something. Okay. Have you ever been in a food fight?
Oh, yes. But the ultimate. The ultimate food fight. Let me tell you, folks, I was in Key West in 2000, and they have a week called the Leconte Republic Celebration where they celebrate their secession.
We live in Florida. We know this. Yes.
You know about
secession from the Union. Yes.
Because of the Route 1. Oh, my. So it's a week-long celebration. At the end of the week, it culminates in basically a food fight at the harbor, right there at the dock. And I was down there. I was with a group of Baltimore firefighters that invited me down for the trip. We got a schooner. We're on the schooner. I was dubbed the Minister of Defense. I ran around and stole trash can lids, and we had defense. And it was anything biodegradable, you know. And it was basically like the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan, but with food and like dead fish and lard and hard-boiled eggs. It was amazing.
So I will never pick on them again for the social media questions because that's an awesome story that deserves to be told on the World Wide Web. If you could be a crayon, what color would you be?
I'd have to be blue. My friend Eric Sapensky, who did the Green Goblin mask way back when, still a good friend, always calls it Dan Poole blue.
Poole blue. That's your thing.
It's my eyes.
You gotta brand
I
it,
guess.
man. Just own it, right? So, what is the last Facebook or Twitter or what's the last social media meme that made you laugh out loud?
Oh, meme.
Yeah, you chuckled and everybody around you just went, "What the hell is he looking at?"
Jeez. I don't know a meme, but I know the ghetto monkey eating a banana just had me on the floor the other day. Have you seen that? Have you
Yes,
heard
I have. I'm glad. I just thought about it and laughed. We're going to have to run that now on the website. So we got to wrap it up here. We got to know Dan Poole a little bit. He's a filmmaker responsible for the Photon Effect. And we're going to run some footage here in a minute to show you some of his early work. So you will be able to say, after you've been to his next movie in the theaters, you'll be, I knew his work back when. All right, and as we wrap it up, we say a special thanks to our partners over at Something Unique Magazine, the Florida Book News, Famous Faces and Funnies, Wordfire Press, Historical Miniature Gaming Society South for sharing these videos on the World Wide Web. We are at Space Coast Comic-Con at the Holiday Inn Express in Cocoa, Florida, and we have been hanging with Dan Poole. Remember, log on, subscribe, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
Thank you.